What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Rayshawn and Shaka podcast. My name is Shaka. My band Rayshawn is out on assignment in a whorehouse down in Central America. He may be back. He may not.
We don't know.
We'll see what the federales do. We got my man back, Mr. Lamar Hinton.
What's going on, everybody?
Expert fitness extraordinaire. He's going to enlighten us today, and we're going to chop it up. What's up, my brother?
How you doing, brother?
All right, good. Yeah. Good to see you again. And
Thanks for having me back again.
Man, look, man, we were happy to have you last time, and glad to have you filling in, my brother.
Yeah, it was a great time. Great conversation, great energy. It was fun. It's a little quiet today, you know. Mr. Rayshawn ain't here, but what's up, T?
Yeah, we might be able to stay focused.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I might throw a little shot in. Only he'll understand this when he's watching.
Subliminal shots.
Yeah, he'll understand.
Subliminal shots.
But I told him I wasn't going to start off talking any smack. But,
yeah, he might not invite you back. Yeah.
We'll see after.
All right. What's up, people? We usually give a shout out to Black Steel Fitness, 3912 East Camelback Road in the heart of Acadia.
There you go.
All right, yeah.
Sweet 3.
Man, I've been coming here for a couple of weeks, man, working out, man.
How you been feeling, man?
Man, it's different. It hit different. You know, when you're in the gym by yourself, you know, one of the chain spots, and you just meandering around doing your own thing, that look like something I should do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this for a while.
Oh, we got eyes everywhere. You know, we watching, making sure you're safe, and you know, we want to make sure you're getting those results, but have a good time while you're doing it.
Oh, absolutely. And what's cool about working out here is that my gains has improved just by the tips that you guys been giving me.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
Particularly you, my brother.
Oh, I appreciate
You'll
that.
see me over there doing some shit wrong, snapping some shit up. And you'll gracefully come over and be like, hey, my brother, take this side up a little bit. Put that back a little bit. Push that up a little. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, shoot, that hit different. Can I take 10 pounds off?
You'll see and start feeling the body definitely a lot differently, man. But, you know, like I said, my biggest thing is making sure everyone is safe.
Yeah.
And most importantly, they're seeing those results, man.
Yeah, definitely the results, man. Even having to come down to weight, improving the technique.
Yes.
And you know, just doing it correctly.
Allowing the body to flow, but the first thing is getting that connection is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
We as individuals just tend to lack that mind-body connection, and when you slow it down, you know, you don't need heavy weights all the time. Just start to feel first what your body's, how it's moving, what may be hurting, what the muscle contraction feels like, and then you go from there. Then slowly start build, but developing that basic foundation first is crucial.
Absolutely. So how long have you been in fitness, and tell me your journey in the business and how you got interested in doing fitness?
Man, I mean, I've been in fitness in the sense of always moving, working out my whole life. My mom is always, and my grandparents always had my older brother and I in sports, from baseball, basketball. First sport was soccer. So we were always moving. I mean, being outside, grew up in the 80s, 90s, it was outside.
Yeah,
you know,
no doubt.
You're moving. So
no doubt.
That aspect of always moving was always in my life. My older brother was the one who went into kinesiology at ASU. Got his degree, was into fitness first. I went into the education realm, working with kids. I met my buddy Amen. What's up, Slim? When I was in education, one of my kids' parents invited me to this workout. And I was in education for, had to have been six and a half years already at that time. And I went to the workout. Like I said, I was always doing my own thing, going to the gym, but it was always body weight. It wasn't anything like lifting weights or anything like that. Running, go and do hikes, stuff like that. So I went to the workout. It was all functional. It was a group training class. I've never done group training before. It was always solo on my own, doing team stuff like that. So enjoyed it. It was a blast, and all we used was a car tire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just a regular one off a car. Obviously no rim. Like I said, it was very functional, anaerobic, but that was my kind of thing, just endurance, just go, get the heart rate up. Went back to the workout, and he offered me an opportunity to partner with him.
Oh, okay.
And build a brand. It was his thing. He learned these things with his grandmother in West Africa.
Wow.
Took it with him back to Belgium, where he was raised. Became a professional rugby player. Just big guy. Did business on another end, and that wasn't his passion. His passion was for helping people. And so he took this concept that he learned with his grandmother and started the business. I met him about a year into it. It's called a Men's Zone Fitness. What's up, my Men's Zone family? How y'all doing?
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
They all know what it's about. And like I said, I was working out with him, doing those group classes for a couple of months, and we had a great conversation one Saturday. I remember it very vividly. He had a huge vision of taking this global. And everything we did since then brought everything to fruition.
Now, was that your first time going into the fitness world as a professional?
Yes, and in the business world as well.
So you became a trainer. Were you a trainer, or were you just facilitating the business aspect of it?
I was training.
Because I saw you too. I saw you jacked up. We're gonna put that picture up there too. You're gonna send me that picture. I'm gonna put that picture up. Brother jacked up. I'm telling you. I'm like, damn.
There's I'm not really keen on being in front of the camera. It was more of I love working with just people and helping them. So I was always in the background. But you'll see me on a few things.
Man, that brother jacked up, boy. I'm telling you. You make brothers want to keep their damn shirt on.
I kept my shirt on, man. I kept my shirt on.
You're like, damn, man, maybe I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. I don't grope. I don't, flaunt. Because it's definitely. I've always seen myself differently. I've always been a lean, skinny kid. Was really trying to put weight on, and it was always tough. I had a high metabolism, so was very humble. Modest guy. Didn't really, like I said, wear tight clothes. Was very baggy clothes. Yeah. But obviously, I've grown up now.
Yeah, so, no doubt.
I got showed off a little bit, especially at my age, man. I got. Let them know.
Yeah, you gotta let them know, man. You gotta let them know. Yeah. Little whippersnapper.
Yeah, but I was just training. I started off I was always into sports, doing my own thing. He offered me this position to be his right-hand man, and that was lead classes.
Well, you must have impressed him to a level that he wanted to have you on as a partner like that.
I was very, very privileged, very honored, man. It was all of it was a new experience for me on the daily. I mean, especially the business aspect of it. I knew nothing about business, was going to school for education. Fitness, like I said, was always in my life. I can easily go ask my brother about that because he went to school for that. But everything was on the fly, and we, to kind of make a long story short, we grew from one location in downtown Phoenix to multiple locations and franchise out.
Oh, that's
7 locations.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And it grew to go into Montreal, Canada, parts of Africa, and back home in his school, his part of London.
Okay. So you come with some credentials, my brother.
I could throw a whole bunch out more. One of the biggest things. Before you asked another question. One of the biggest things I'm most proud of doing with him and Kim. I can't forget the Queen B. It was 3 of us. Amen, Kim, and myself. We were the main drivers of a Men's Zone Fitness. But it was developing our 52-week program for our 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Oh, okay.
And helping combat childhood obesity.
Oh, man, that is an issue. Yeah. Not just childhood, because I tell you, I see a lot of us be rolling around here.
Oh,
it's an epidemic for sure.
I wonder why it is not overly emphasized because by 2030, the prediction is 50% of the U.S. population will be overweight or obese.
No doubt, no doubt.
And you're from Louisiana. That's one of the top
of course.
5 states that is, close to 40%.
Yeah, food and bad food is I mean, it's a staple.
How do you encourage people to make healthier decisions is the question. And it's one thing we tackle every day.
Yeah. I grew up opposite of that. I didn't play sports. I was gangly, and if you could imagine, I was very skinny too. High metabolism.
Okay.
Didn't play sports. It wasn't until after I got in the military that I became more, fitness fitness became part of my life. And then it wasn't like regularly, it was intermittent throughout my life, I get serious for a few, start looking kind of good. For life, I'm good. I start, I'm looking a little good, I'm like, all right, I don't need this no more,
He feeling himself too.
I was feeling myself. Exactly, I was. But it hasn't been until like the last few years that I really said, I really need to make this like permanent fixture in my life, like a daily, not a daily, but you know what I'm saying, like my life, part of my lifestyle, because I've always been intermittent.
Sure. One of our slogans we would say is training for life. Mm-hmm. Train for life. I'm not too keen on making things a lifestyle because lifestyles can change.
Yeah.
I understand that. Fitness is a journey. Life is a journey. Mm-hmm. So this should be something that is just deeply rooted within I feel personally and professionally, within our daily lives. Whether you're committing a simple walk, I recently started getting back into walking. I used to do it with my little daughter's mother. Mm-hmm. We would just go for a walk around the block. Mm-hmm. I started doing it, and it's good, And yes, I've been doing this for over 15 years, but that's still something simple I can do without having to kill myself all the time.
Right, and that's a good point because although I've had sedentary periods of my life, maybe it's my personality, maybe it's just my ego or whatever. I always feel like I gotta go hard when I go to the gym. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm at the age going hard. You're just going to get diminishing returns. You know what I'm saying? Like thank God I haven't gotten injured or anything, but I certainly snapped some shit up.
It could be a generational thing. I remember growing up, no pain, no gain.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not working out unless it hurts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so that's not necessarily the case.
Well, we're learning that now through fitness science and stuff. Absolutely. People just have different approaches and
that's
figure some things out.
Because I don't feel any one way is wrong or right. It's all incumbent on what are you looking for? What is your lifestyle, first off? Are you a desk person? Do you stand on your feet? Are you walking around? Are you a construction worker?
Yeah.
Then, the trainer could know how to tailor a program that fits their everyday lifestyle so they're not hurting as much when they get home.
Yeah, no doubt.
And be able to play with kids. I mean, your family, be able to do the simple things.
Well, this time around, meaning like the last couple of years, for me, it's been addressing some things particularly specifically, like mobility, squatting, lower body power and agility.
Okay.
It just wasn't there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's just, these weird aches, because of stepping out of a car, or off a chair or something. Like, wait a minute, hold on a minute. You reach for something. Oh, that kind of stuff. So after doing a little reading and a little research, I was like, you know what? I really need to start doing some. Really start focusing on the lower body, the core, the leg strength and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, within weeks, it's been almost 180. Awesome. Just being able to do things without feeling the pain. And I got some lower back problems anyway, but
sure.
Despite that, and strengthening my back, it's made a world of difference. I mean, just every day, talk about everyday tasks,
Yes.
I barely feel it, but I could feel the strength, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I could feel the strength, like, dang, I could do this all day,
And that's what we should be going for, right?
Yeah.
We want to feel those muscles work, and not feel pain from a joint or a muscle that's not used. Or, people will say, I'm weak in this area. Oh, you're just a little disconnected.
Yeah.
Let's get things firing off. Let's get things blood flowing in certain areas and get you connected, so that way you can do those everyday tasks.
Yeah. And those are the things that are associated with what we call aging, right? Because you think that you're just getting old and you're supposed to, conventional wisdom is that, I'm getting old.
Is that
But
aging?
that stuff,
Is that aging, or is that lack of movement?
well, that's what I'm talking about. It's lack of move. It's not aging.
Right.
Well, I mean, it is aging if you let it linger.
Sure.
But there are things that can be reversed, and then it's not associated with age. It's
Correct.
associated with being sedentary and, not working those muscles. And, I mean, you're the expert. You know more better. And I'm just going by personal anecdotal stuff here.
I feel you're on
yeah.
the right track. We, us as humans, and I'll just say as U.S. as in general, we move in just one fashion, forward.
Mm-hmm.
Through I studied through NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Okay.
And they really break down the body anatomically.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to what my brother explained to me, these are certifications you can get without doing the 4 years
Mm-hmm.
of kinesiology. But they really zone in on the body and how we as sedentary lifestyle people move in just one form.
Mm-hmm.
One plane, excuse me. There's 3 planes that the body moves on. So if you stand facing forward and you slice your body in half, left to right, that's one plane. Mm-hmm. If I slice my body from front to back, that's the second plane. And twisting, contorting, that's the third plane.
Okay.
We're always working this frontal side.
Mm-hmm.
We forget about the back side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We forget about our lateral sides. When people fall, they usually fall to the side. We can catch ourselves moving, going forward or backwards
Mm-hmm.
much better. And then the twisting is the biggest one I will say we forget to move in. We're so stiff that anytime we twist, that don't feel good.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's a matter of, don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to crawl.
I noticed when I started doing the squats, and by the way, I'm not doing no serious heavy weight. I'm just trying to build up, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, I had like, the first day, I'm like, let me give this a try a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm like, I had 2 10s on there, and I was like, man, I couldn't even bring it up. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Hell no, not the shock dog. Come on now. I'm Shaka, baby. You know what I'm saying?
The weight breaking you down, brother. Don't let the weight break you down.
Yeah, but it was 10 pounders. So anyway, taking the ego out of it,
Yeah.
I just said, you know what, this is where I'm at. And I'm just going to build from there.
Absolutely.
And, every week I try to, progress. But the point I'm trying to make was I realized how weak the laterals were by doing that,
Yes.
by starting to do, because I'm like, I can't, am I supposed to, this is about as far as I can go
my
before
body
I
will allow
start
me to
feeling
go.
some
Yeah,
stuff, you
yeah.
know? So I was like, okay, I need to start working on that too.
Yes.
Incorporate that in some kind of routine as well, because you don't realize, I didn't realize how weak my laterals were until I started doing the squats.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I don't know.
That's a compound movement, which means you're using more than one muscle at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's disconnected muscles, your body's gonna tell you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Now, the beautiful thing about the body is it will also adapt to dysfunctions, muscle imbalances in particular, and it will still function.
Okay.
You may start feeling pain, hence our lower backs. We can still function. People still go to work and they have lower back pain. But eventually the body's gonna start breaking down in different areas where it's like, I can't keep taking this on.
Yeah.
I can't keep sitting like this.
Gotcha.
need
Which
to
is
adjust.
that's my thing. I didn't even realize, especially being a thin person, just the aesthetics of it is like, hell no. Like I can't be,
Yeah.
And progressively as you get older, I guess you continue to, you don't realize it. I guess at some point, like I did, I realized, and I was like, I need to start,
You about an inch.
I even joke about that on the show. I was like, sit up like a man,
Shoulders back.
Yeah, but you don't realize it. Just kind of, and maybe that's again computers, laptops, and cell phones. You just like this,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was wondering, man, my thumb. Anytime I'm on it for a little bit, it gets numb. I don't understand how people just for hours and hours. My neck would start hurting. I have to put it down.
Yeah.
But I attribute that to being, as I said earlier, growing up pre-cell phones.
Yeah.
I didn't get my first cell phone until I think I was in college.
Yeah, it's amazing how we act like we can't live without that thing, but yeah.
It's interesting.
Societally,
Yeah.
So, fitness as it relates to older people, right? And you asked a question earlier. You asked me, how do you get people to have that conversation with people? I personally, I don't have the conversation anymore. I don't. I changed the way I have the conversation because I know people are not going to listen. They're going to take it. They're going to take it personal. They're going to get pissed off at you.
Absolutely.
Or think that you're calling them something and all this kind of stuff when you're really trying to out of love it. I think I preface whether it's in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
I just want to live better.
Absolutely.
I want to live better and I want to stay as healthy as I can, as long as I can. And people that give you pushback on that don't want to do it, they'll talk about all these things in the world that could kill you. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, yes, there are things that it's not about how you die, it's about how you live.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if I can live as healthy as I can in this toxic world we live in, I don't want to exacerbate it by doing a bunch of stuff that's adverse, if that make any sense.
Absolutely.
And we all could eat better, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, I try to, I'm getting better with the diet, but there's things I've always really didn't eat anyway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I always tried to eat clean and lean, but, I have my Popeyes moments, You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing, I know I'm going on a tangent right now, but my biggest thing is sweets. I got a sweet tooth.
Okay.
And that's been my thing that I've had. Cakes, pies, not so much candy, but like just sweets.
Well, let me ask you this. When it comes to sugars, how do you feel about fruit? Let me ask that.
I love fruit. I eat fruit all the time. Yeah, but it's not a Snicker bar, player.
I totally get it. I know the chocolate.
It's not a sweet potato pie.
I know, but sweet potato pies or sweet potatoes are good. Sweet potato. I mean, I love sweet potato pie. Don't get me wrong. It's what we were discussing earlier this morning. It's all about balance.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that's what I've always known it. And part of my life, I didn't practice what I was preaching. But it wasn't until, talking about sweet potato pie, it wasn't until one day, I used to always, holiday time, if I didn't have a girlfriend that knew how to make a pie or something like that, try to find somebody that could make a sweet potato pie. I love sweet potato pie, right? Then one year I was like, why am I looking for people to make a sweet when I could just freaking learn how to make one myself?
Why not?
So that's when I learned how much freaking sugar is in that. 2.5 cups of what? I'm not putting 2.5 cups of sugar in nothing.
Except Kool-Aid? No, I'm just kidding.
Then on top of that, a stick of butter.
But you gonna eat that Snicker bar.
But it wasn't until I physically did it that I saw the 2.5 cups of sugar.
Right.
And I saw this big stick of butter. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I halved it.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't taste like a sweet potato pie after you half it.
But I learned to eat it. Sweet potato pie you are accustomed to.
Okay, yeah, and the rest of the sweet potato pie in the world. But I learned to do it, and that worked for me because I know this is my pie, you know. Yeah. So, but I wasn't going to put 2.5 cups of sugar in the pie. Now,
You can if you want to. Just
I'm
just
like,
be ready when you go to the
like,
doctor.
I've been eating like that all my life. Like, as far as the pie is concerned, like, but you don't see, unless you see it. So when you get food from other places, you don't realize the ingredients that's in it, whether it's salt, sugar. You don't know how much of it is put in there.
Then
You know what I'm saying?
then cook at home. And I
Well,
know
yeah,
it can be
well,
a
yeah,
challenge. I know
yeah.
it can be a challenge. I grew up, we ate home cooked foods.
Mm-hmm.
Eating out was a luxury.
For us too.
For
us too it was.
we
But
get
that
down-
was
I
a
think it was
long
down-
time
I think
ago
it was
before I
like-
got my first check, player.
I mean, there were. Don't get me wrong. There was moments. I mean, even in my, my lifetime and fitness journey, where I'll veer off.
Yeah.
But I've created enough consistency and discipline, most importantly.
Well, the other thing that's tied to that, and I'm no exception to that, I realized in the last couple of years, in fact, I acknowledge it as I'm eating something horrible, that, it's attached, a lot of it is attached to emotion,
Absolutely.
depression or whatever,
Yeah.
we know about the obesity thing where people have whatever, all the
Sure.
reasons why people eat, the ones that are obese because of food. I know it. I feel this way. I know it. I know what I'm doing. I understand the psychology behind it. But I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna eat it till it's gone. I don't care. Kind of thing.
So then I would say, and one thing we worked, we really tapped into at a men's zone was working from the inside out. Mm-hmm. You really have to create a really good relationship with nutrition, and I say nutrition specifically, not diet. Mm-hmm. Diets and stuff; those are fads.
Right.
They just fluctuate, but your nutrition will definitely fluctuate, right? Season to season.
Yeah.
You know what's coming during summertime. I'm not going to be eating, hot soups in the summertime.
Right.
I'm going to go for something that's refreshing. I love salads. People are, you eating that rabbit food? I'm like, you damn right I'm eating that rabbit food. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel
Ain't
good.
it funny when an out of shape mug try to say something slick to you when you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I could really go off or say something. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be humble about it,
But
and not that I'm all that fit, but I'm just saying,
Sure.
like,
but but I definitely feel we should recognize what is working and why are you questioning because I'm eating this. What I eat don't make you shit.
it's got to be a reflection of yourself and how you feel about
It
yourself.
does. And I always just encourage people, just look at yourself and ask yourself, why do I have this relationship with food the way it is?
Yeah.
If you do, as you stated, emotionally eat. And then tackle that, right? Tackle that and then keep moving forward to the next step. Is it going to be easy? No. But you're going to learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
If you allow it. I don't worry about what people say, how I eat, what I eat. I've gotten it a lot, so I'm just like, I'm going to eat good.
Now, do you? Now I know you because you get on me a lot. You've gotten on me for a couple of months, but you'll be like, well, that diet, because you know what my goals are. You'll be like,
Yes.
that diet, and that's something I know. I know that, getting 6-pack abs, which I'm not sure if I'll ever get one, but. I know that it's tied to diet.
Yeah.
Even if you're eating, even if you're eating healthy, you still could be eating the wrong things and eating too much.
Yes.
And I'm saying it in a layman's term. I know you could say it more
Can,
eloquently, but
I like to speak layman's term.
Yeah. So I tell people that ask me, I said, there's calories in and calories out, but there's another side to that too.
Absolutely.
There's another side to it.
There's a whole bunch of sides.
I could eat 3-4 pieces of Popeye's chicken and stay under a calorie deficit for the day, but did I eat the right thing?
You had protein.
Protein, right? I had protein.
It's probably high in fat.
And it's saturated fat.
Yeah.
It's going to land right here. So that's what I'm saying.
A moment on the lips, forever on the hips. That moment y'all
got
love
those trainer.
That cake and that fast food. I get it. It's satisfying. I get it. Trust me. I'm not. don't get it twisted. I'll eat what I want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I want to go have a Filiberto's carne asada burrito, I'm gonna go have me a burrito.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
Yeah, but you know what you're doing though, because you know if you eat that, there's some other things that you may not do for the rest of the day. You may train a certain kind of way. You might go run or something, or you know that that's it for that day. You know, maybe I said that already, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you can. But a professional person is going to manage.
I'm a person.
If they eat some,
I'm a person first. My profession is in fitness and in the health industry.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to prevent injuries, to help you get stronger, to help balance your body out. On the nutrition aspect, obviously that's dietitian, nutritionist. But it's simple. If you just develop a really good relationship with food first, or reestablish a really healthy relationship with food, you'll get there.
But you got to get used to. I mean, you have to.
You got to retrain
fall
the palate.
In love with.
But trust me,
you beat me to it. That's what I meant.
Retrained my palate, and I get it. But this is the big word, and I've dealt with this myself a lot. Sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice Popeyes tonight? Or do you have to have it because it's Friday and I did good this whole week?
Right. Yeah.
Why not just extend that good week?
Gotcha.
Why not go to Friday, Saturday? Or
Spoken
Friday
like a true
Saturday.
Trainer. You don't need that chicken tonight. Do you really need? You're like the guy right here.
Look, I know y'all. What time is it?
You don't need that chicken.
Happy hour about to start in a few hours. I know.
Oh, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink it. It's been 6 years since I had a real drink. And I say that because I have to remind myself, once or twice in the last 5 years, I had a sip of wine. You know, kind of chilling with the lady. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
He's coming out.
But I had a little sip. And I said, damn, I had this sip of wine. I'm not supposed to. But my intention was never to like say, oh, I'm never going to drink again. Sure. It just happened to be, I just lost the taste for it. And it's been 6 years. You know,
that's great.
Right, and I'm proud of that because I've learned so many. I've changed as a person, and my beliefs about certain things have changed. So I'm like, I got this whole thing about being altered and being conscious about things and all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy in that regard. But I didn't realize, it wasn't until afterward that I realized that alcohol causes a lot of problems with the body.
Absolutely.
Especially as you get older.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I know people that, I mean, they drink like fish, and because they're standing up and going to work every day, they think they're fine.
Functioning alcoholics is what it,
And professionally, I see it too. So, and on top of the professional part, I grew up in an alcoholic household. So alcohol has always been around. I don't know much about drugs. I didn't see drugs, but alcohol,
that was prevalent in my culture, in our family. I chose to. I haven't had a drink in over 16 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've sipped and like.
Yeah.
It just wet the whistle, and that was it. It wasn't anything where I'm like.
And that's why I said, you know, I tell people I haven't had a drink, but I haven't like quit. I mean, there may be one day for whatever occasion I might have a drink or something, but it's been that long since I had one. So I'm not against alcohol, but in terms of diet, talk about diet, the compounding is what I'm getting at.
Sure.
You know, you're eating bad, you're not doing anything for your body as far as exercise or anything like that, and you're drinking like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, how can you be a healthy person?
I mean, that's a great question. You know, people envision them being that healthy, but it goes back to that word. What are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
I'm not saying quit. That was my choice. And I wouldn't say I quit because maybe I'll have a drink one day.
Yeah.
I don't really like to put those things out. I just didn't like when my body was feeling.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel really healthy.
Well, when I drink, I just didn't want to do nothing.
So for me, I like to move. I like to do things. I'm a big kid. My eldest daughter, when she was young, I coached her at softball. So I enjoy going to the cages.
Yeah.
I got a little one now. She's 4. I gotta keep moving.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really good. But
you don't want to be that drunk dad in the bleachers.
And mine is That's my baby.
That's my job over there.
No, I'll be in the dugout coaching, talking shit. No. But also, being in my 20s and 30s, or even just being a kid, seeing the elders, the 40-year-olds at the time, the 50, the 60-year-olds, whoever they were.
Yeah.
I didn't like seeing, aren't you supposed to get older and better?
Yeah.
You're supposed to get older and wiser, but
Yeah.
your body, you're supposed to know these things, right? You're supposed to learn. So I prided myself on top of statistics. I did not want to be an African-American or an Hispanic man with hypertension.
Oh, yeah,
diabetes.
definitely.
So
Definitely.
I took pride in that, and I wanted to be that, not say that. And it's like anything else. If you want to start a business, right, don't just talk about it, you got to do it, right? I take my health most important because that's going to get me to do that 9-to-5 job if I do it, or, work 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
You got to invest in your health first, most importantly. I'm not knocking what we all have to do in our daily lives, from kids, practices, and you got meetings, and you got maybe in-laws or parents to, take care of. I'm not knocking that. But where does your health come into play? Why is that so far down the line when if you don't have that, you can't even do the simplest of things?
Yeah. How many times we've heard of the caregiver passing away before the person they're taking care of?
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I did.
Whether it's a spouse or a mother or, a sibling taking care of a kid or something. I mean, taking care of a family member.
It's a lot mentally, not just physically. So I want to do good by my girls and my family, and just lead by example. And like I said, I'm fine if, you don't ever have, go out and hang out, at the bar or go and have drinks. I did that when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm not knocking it. I just don't want to.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
Speaking of that, when you eat healthy, and I'm talking beyond me because I'm not there yet. When you eat healthy, you don't drink. You follow a routine calorie daily intake.
Sure.
Right? Just as a part of your life.
That's it.
How do you deal with socializing and, for an example, dating, or just going out with the boys, or hanging out with the family when there's food being passed all over the place and the glasses are being passed all over the place?
No, thank you.
So you just strict about it, like you just, boom.
No, thank you.
Okay. Other thing. So you don't drink alcohol.
Sure.
Do you drink soda?
No.
All right.
Water and hot tea.
Got you. Okay.
With lemon, lemon, usually honey and cinnamon.
Well, the alcohol hasn't been my challenge, but it used to be, okay, I'm going to this, I don't hang out in bars or whatever, but let's say I find myself at a bar, I'm meeting the fellas at the bar, or meeting somebody at a bar. I don't drink. But the sodas are just as expensive. So I'm like, at some point, I'm like, I can't keep drinking these damn sodas because I don't drink alcohol. I mean, it's no better.
Now, let me ask you this. When you drink that soda, do you finish your meal?
No, like at a bar or something.
Oh, I mean, do you order food?
Maybe not.
Yeah. So even if you're at a sit-down restaurant and you order a soda, do you typically finish your meal?
Well, if I buy it, I'm finishing it.
Eat it all.
You're wasting no food, man.
And I asked that.
And I'm looking at her plate too. I'm like, what you gonna do with the other half of that sandwich?
Well, we do waste a lot of food.
We do,
right?
Yeah.
And what I'm getting at is, even though it's a liquid, that's still filling. My cousin used to make fun of me when she lived with me. I don't drink when I eat. I just don't drink. I'll drink something before, get everything working, digestive system. But I'm eating. I don't. My mouth and my body produces enough saliva that it's going to go down. Just.
Oh, you saying that's what you do?
That's what I do.
Okay.
Now that is typically recommended. You drink before.
I had a good friend years ago who would eat his food first and then drink whatever he had.
Yeah.
And I thought that was I didn't think it was weird, but that was very uncommon from what my background.
Because we think that here's your what do they usually start you with? A water, right?
Yeah.
That's what you start with. Get that digestive system flowing. You're about to have a good, you sit down, you're having appetizers, and then you're going to have your big meal. Sometimes people indulge in desserts. Why would I get full off of a liquid, a soda, especially carbonated?
So when you were dating, when you were going out meeting a lady somewhere, you met her at a bar or whatever.
Date.
Well, I don't know if you are or not. I don't know what I'm not trying to mess your shit up, brother.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You're good.
You might got a little honey dip out there watching, how he's gonna answer this.
I thought you said you don't talk about women, ladies, and stuff on this stuff.
What? You ain't watching none of our podcasts, have you?
I have.
Man, that's all we do is talk about the ladies. How y'all doing out there?
About you.
About it.
Oh, it's about you. That's all. He just ain't talking about him. Okay.
No, not about me. This is not autobiographical. I'm just saying, what do you? I mean, do you just drink sodas the whole time?
If I'm going out, whether it's whoever.
Or you just drinking water?
I drink water. Give me when I go out.
So she's not looking at you like.
I don't care.
She's like, he can't afford to get both of us one of these. She done ordered the most expensive drink on the menu.
Go. Do you want an alcoholic drink, baby? Is that what you want? You get the drink. I'm not. I'll be your DD.
Oh,
right?
Man. She ordered $20 shots, and she's like, he can't get two of these for me.
No, I'll let people know who I am, But if I go out to a restaurant, typically with my daughters and family, I'm going to ask for a lemon with my water because I know it's usually tap water. I don't really want to taste all that. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've had challenges with that in the past.
It's the discipline, brother. I've really dedicated myself through the years to ensure my health comes first, most importantly. There's no compromise with that.
So the family members ain't at the table tossing their eyes up at you like, oh my God.
No, all of my family. What's up, fam? They all know me, and they know me and my brother. We're health conscious, but once again, they're probably talking shit if they're watching this. Like, oh, he eats this stuff and eats that stuff. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying I don't eat a hamburger.
Of course, yeah.
Fuck, I went to Habit Burger not too long ago.
Yeah, but you're not. I get what you're saying, and I think people take things too literal because you're in fitness or you're on a health journey or whatever it is. People kind of lean on you like, "Oh, I caught you. You're eating fries. I caught you." It's like no. I'm just not eating fries every day.
Yeah,
I'm not eating.
And that's the biggest misconception. One of them is because you look this way, you obviously don't eat anything I'm gonna eat.
Right.
Well, first, I'm not going to McDonald's. I don't want to eat McDonald's. I don't want to eat fast food. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to a place that I know is not going to be as healthy as something I would make at home or home cook, I'm going to try to make it the best option as I can.
Yeah.
But now that's going to take what? Sacrifice.
Yeah.
And if that means no Popeyes, instead of going to Popeyes, you might have to go to Teriyaki Bowl and get some grilled chicken with some brown rice or something, right? It's not the greatest, but he looking like
I like the Panda Express teriyaki bowl with super greens. But I don't think it's. I don't think, and I haven't looked at the ingredients like in terms of what's in it. Something in my heart tell me it's not healthier.
No, but it's
grilled chicken.
I mean, what
with
is,
that sauce?
Let me ask you this: what is better, Pepsi or Diet Pepsi?
Neither one. Yeah.
Diet Pepsi is the worst, probably, because
if
there's sweetness in it, what are you putting in it? If there's no sugar in it, what are you putting in there to make it sugary and sweet? Chemicals.
But I don't do any diet or non-fat stuff anyway. If I'm going to eat the thing or drink the thing, it's going to be the real thing. I've never liked diet or low fat.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. I don't like that stuff.
Go in, go.
But again, I'm not going ham. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I think that you don't have to stop eating the things you love. You just have to, like you said, how you say that? Balance. Have a balance with it.
So one thing.
But the balance, the part of the equation that's not in the balance, though, is that most of us are not exercising.
Movement is big. But movement is
especially with
20%
most of the
of the-
jobs we have today are sedentary jobs.
Sure, but you don't work, 7 hours a day?
Right, but I'm just saying people sit on their butts all day, whatever their job they're doing, and the biggest trip that they make is to their food cafe or the coffee thing to get those iced coffees and lattes.
Yes.
And then they're back to their cubicle.
Yeah, but when you're not working, right? Is there any time you can carve out of your day for at least 30 minutes?
Well, of course, I think so.
Right.
Yeah,
and these are the big questions. Now, I did want to add something. So when you talked about making healthier choices food-wise, what we did with our nonprofit at Amend Zone, when we worked in the Salt River Native American community, we didn't want to change their nutrition. I'm not saying don't eat fried bread. Here's some healthier options when making that. Instead of using this type of oil, use this oil, right? Maybe add more beans. Maybe add some chicken. Maybe add this type of greens. We don't have enough color in our nutrition, and that's got to be key. It's just got to be big. You want to make sure you got some color.
Yeah, and now we're kind of stepping off into the political part, because in certain communities, here I go. In certain communities, we have what are called these food deserts, right?
Yeah.
So while we as a nation, a part of us are saying, yeah, we need more greens and we need to eat leafy this, and we need to have color on our plate and stuff like that. We're not really that serious about it because, and that's one part of it. The other part of it is that the expense.
Absolutely.
So healthier food costs more money. And I don't think it costs more money because it's just more expensive to make. I just think that it's healthier and there's a premium for that.
Does it cost a lot to make healthier food at home? Most people say yes, right?
Well,
People say yes.
because you still have to buy the ingredients.
Right. Why aren't we looking at the benefits of that? There's a huge benefit.
Well, I would go even further. I would say, if I were on the other side of that, I would say reduce something else in your life that you don't need, like the alcohol, so you could afford to buy more green leafy vegetables. We spend $20 a shot on the weekends, and then we complain about spending $1 or $2 extra. I know I'm being on both sides of the coin, but about spending an extra $1 or $2 for some greens.
Yeah, but it's also good to see that, and you're understanding both sides of the coin, right?
Yeah.
But now it's up to us as individuals to make the proper decision. That's going to be the healthiest decision.
Yeah, but I think that I don't want to sound like a nihilist, but when a person gets a certain age, the average person, unless they go through some kind of health crisis or something like that, I think they're less likely to reverse that. Perhaps we should focus on making sure our children grow up with that mindset, like you grew up with a certain mindset. But are we doing that? Are we, you know what I'm saying? If you are an obese person that eats unhealthy, are you going to turn to your son and say, eat your vegetables, boy or girl?
So you have
authoritatively, I could make them eat it, but
the challenge
morally,
the challenge with that is, what do kids mostly do with their parents?
Rebel.
I'm going to do as you do, not as you say. So if I'm seeing you go have a drink. Well, shit, when I get older, I'm going to go have me some drinks.
Well, yeah.
Or when I get that chance. So they're not looking just at what you're saying. They're looking at what you're doing as well. Yeah. So now when you try to, in that moment of, hey, I need you to make better choices, they're going to look at you in their mind and be like, you ain't even doing it the right way either. Why should I listen to you?
Right. So you're saying you need to lead by example.
Why aren't we? why are we overlooking that when that is the most important?
Because we're tied to our own BS and our
but look
own.
at what we do on the grander scale, and I won't go too political, but we look to our leader, our president, as the examples, right? And when they don't lead by that example, we get upset and frustrated.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So we look for those people. Now take it to the smaller scale. Your house, your own four walls. Your parents need to show by example. I don't want you to tell me I can't have those chips, but you're chowing down on them Lay's chips.
Right.
And I can't have one. Why can't I have one? It ain't healthy for you. You laid up your belly button all out. You got the shirt half cropped up.
You can't have this vodka, boy. It'll kill you.
Why you sweating eating them chips, Pops? Why are you sweating?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and so it has to be a culmination of things. I feel as society, we look for like one thing to be that deciding factor.
Yeah.
This is the reason why this is it. This is the reason why that's it.
Yeah.
Well, all of that can be true at once, right?
Right.
You can still consume bad foods, too much alcohol, and still be overweight, or even just consume way too much alcohol and not eat enough and still be overweight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be
that
a one.
fatty tissue.
Yeah, it's a slow killer.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
learned, you know,
Yeah.
and obesity is that slow killer, and it seems like society's okay with that, and that is the challenge. I've always just wished people just.
But I think universally we're facing an uphill battle because the way our food is being processed, the control of our foods, those things are becoming less and less for us in our power.
Mm-hmm.
The avenues by which we get our food, what I mean by that is like the stores or what have you,
Sure.
these chain stores that only deal with certain suppliers, and so there's no variety there.
Right.
And on and on and on. We just don't have control, and they're finding more and more ways to make food more efficient, quicker, and less quality, if you will.
Absolutely.
You want quality, you go pay a premium for the quality.
Absolutely.
In fact, I'm going to go a little further in the future. I think that real food is only going to be accessible to the super rich, and we're going to be eating something no different than kibbles.
I'm kind of glad you went there, because in my head while you're saying this, I've had this conversation with a good friend of mine, and they live up North Scottsdale. Nothing against it.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. If you look at the corner of major intersections, let's say north of Camelback,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep going to north of the 101 here in Phoenix, if you're listening somewhere else, you're not going to see a McDonald's or a liquor store or a convenience store, 7-Eleven on every street.
Yeah, a lot of those people, they control what goes in their neighborhoods.
Right.
One thing, they're not going to have a whole bunch of McDonald's.
They do, but you also have a lot of people that are more in tune with the policies within their communities. So when
That's
you
what I mean,
have
yeah.
these town halls, they're more engaged, and they're saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
I seen that sign that's up in that lot that says you're going to put it churches. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't want that."
Yeah.
So we, as the African and Hispanic culture, should be either taking it upon ourselves, and you're seeing that in certain areas. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of where I live, a lot of Mexican restaurants that are being more health conscious.
Yeah, but what about the population that, I know it might sound like I'm joking, but
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen a McDonald's, and I've been paying close attention since I've been doing this thing recently. Mm-hmm. And I do go to McDonald's, by the way, full disclosure. I get the egg and cheese McMuffin because it's low calorie. It still may not be quality food,
Sure.
but I get a little protein, and I'm not doing too much.
Okay.
That's my excuse for going
Interesting
there.
justification.
Right, yeah. But point I'm trying to make about that is that
It's powdered eggs.
it is around the corner. Cars are wrapped around the corner all day at McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Any McDonald's I went to is busy.
Sure.
So even with the bad reputation and a bad rap that a McDonald's get,
Right.
and then I'm about to drive the point home, those people, it's not that these businesses are being just dumped in low income areas or whatever, or areas where people don't have control of the local whatever. People want that doggone McDonald's. They want the Burger King. They want the Chick-fil-A. You see what I'm saying? There's a appetite and a
desire
for that.
Why is that? Convenience.
Convenience, right.
Condition.
But it's not even convenient no more. It's not even convenient.
How is a drive-thru not convenient?
Well, I'm saying it's not convenient in that you'll sit in a drive-thru for a long time and wait for something that ain't right. Or you'll stand in, I'm just saying it's not like it used to be. Fast food used to be real fast food. I mean, really, you didn't spend no more than a few seconds in the drive-thru. You got your ish and you got out. Now it's not even about that.
We're not really necessarily talking about time. There's still a level of convenience there because now I don't have to go into that grocery store.
I get the fact about the convenience,
that, right?
But convenience or laziness.
Yeah. But it's self-conditioned.
You got
right?
4 or 5 kids.
And it's emotionally satisfying.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And the other part of that is we're being trained to eat this food and
is it?
I think we've been, yeah. I think if you grew up as a kid, most of us, those of us who grow out of it and find other choices. But for most of us, I think I've been going to McDonald's. It's tied to my childhood. It's tied to family memories. It's tied to emotion. Mm-hmm. All those
Sports.
things. So now I'm a 45-year-old man and I'm still eating, give me 2 double cheeseburgers.
At what point does it become a personal choice?
Well, I mean, it's always a personal. Well, I mean, as an adult, and as a kid, I don't think you really have a choice of what you eat.
Totally get, because there's times where I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way.
No. We're not saying that, but we're generally speaking.
Yeah, but it's if in the same breath of that person of what you just kind of laid out, the emotional attachment, right? But in that same breath or previous, sentence, you're saying, I want to eat healthy. Okay, well, where's the sacrifice? Where's the choice and decision going to be different?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the person that I'm on board with you. I'm with you. I'm tracking with you on that. I'm talking about the person that don't care about the health part. I'm talking about that person like that wants the McDonald's, that he or she is not health conscious. And and for convenience, they'll feed their kids McDonald's, Burger King, anything else all week. Let
me go a little deeper, if I may. Do you think that's a form of child abuse? Knowing how bad these foods can be. But I can't chastise my kid too much now. But I can give him McDonald's, and that's okay.
Well, if you cause your child to be malnourished, that's considered child abuse.
Malnourished.
I know that's
right.
So I'm inversing it.
Yes.
I'm inversing it. So it's tied to what? Nutrition, right? So if you give them bad nutrition,
it's just on the opposite end of the spectrum, right?
That's my point. So technically, yes.
Yeah.
But no.
But why not?
Because it's part of a whole machine.
But see, at what point it's like people want to have one foot in the door and the rest of their body out when it comes to this. Mm-hmm. It's like if we can lay all of this stuff out of why it's important to make better, healthier nutritional decisions and life choices, you got to step all the way out. You can't hold on. That's I get it, the cool memory. We had Little League games. I remember when we go to McDonald's. You go to Peter Piper Pizza. I get that.
Ugh.
I don't need to do that now.
Right.
Why do I need to do that?
Habit.
And if I do, okay, I'm going to show my little baby girl that part because we're in this society. I get that. I'm not trying to say I live off the grid. I'm not trying to do anything like I'm living off the grid. Look. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've taken
in the woods,
my
y'all.
baby to McDonald's to get her the Happy Meal, and she wants a treat. But fortunately, my baby don't eat all of it, and it's okay. I'm not going to force her to.
Right.
But I want her to have a little bit of that ambiance when she grows up and be like, "Yeah, I remember McDonald's." But also too, I'm trying to satisfy a little bit of societal things.
Right, of course.
I don't want her to
You don't
be
want to take everything away from her.
Yeah. But at the same time, guess what?
You don't want to turn into a serial killer, do you?
No. I'm her father, and I can have conversations and control certain things to a certain level when it comes to those types of conversations. Like, okay, but I can easily say, no, we're not having McDonald's today. But
well, how different is that from a parent standpoint? And I'm not talking about you. You're Superman.
Sure.
How different is that than back in the day? You set the kid, and now it's a laptop or the iPad. Set the kid in front of the TV. You know what I'm saying? The McDonald's or the fast food thing is kind of is similar to that.
It's
the convenience of or the kid is crying, or the kid is whining about McDonald's Happy Meal. Let me just give it to him so I can go and do what I really want to do over here.
Right there is the problem.
Yeah.
And I say that as a parent, very humbly and respectfully, no disrespect to any parents out there, we can't give in all the time. We just can't give in. Mm-hmm. Like no means no. Right. I do give my little girl some tablet time, and I monitor. Like, all right, you're done.
Yeah.
Time to shut it down.
And at some point they understand that because it's part of your life.
But there has to be.
They know at 8:00
boundaries. Right?
Between 7 and 8, Dad's gonna let me do this.
Yeah.
Or Mom's gonna let me do this. I know at 8:00, and you do that as a routine, as your part of your life. And I think the kid gets it.
Absolutely.
What we try to do is, when it's time to punish or admonish, or you would take it away, when we've used this as a parenting tool.
Absolutely.
Now we're trying to take it away, and now you got the issues. You know what I'm saying? Or we wait till he's 17 and say, "I'm going to take your Xbox, Billy." He's 17. He's been playing. He's been literally on the Xbox every minute since he was 5. He's 17 now. You're gonna grab it.
Now you're gonna try and take that away. Good luck.
That's why. What was that? What that term they use for when they delete the parents, the kids? Patricide. I think it's called patricide or something like that.
I don't know how to.
Yeah. See, that's why we got a high rate of that shit going on.
Now once again, and I'll take full responsibility as a parent for my kids. If I do something wrong, I've grown to be more open to taking that criticism because I have to. I want to do right for my girls. There's that struggle. Parents struggle with that, right?
Yeah.
How do you face with, I did something wrong. This is my fault, but you can easily correct that, right? And it's your kid. So yes, it's going to be a tough conversation, but guess what? That's your kid. You have that tough conversation because guess what? At the end of the day, your kid's going to know you still love them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's never going to break.
Yeah.
But you're doing them a disservice if you're just saying, hey, take that tablet while we're at Red Robin's and, be quiet.
Yeah.
No, sit there and talk with them.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I've been in restaurants and I've seen literally the whole table. It's like they on a device. I'm like, do y'all even know each other?
That's how they want to. But now in this, my thing where I would I don't really judge people out loud. It's just more my.
Well, it's an observation. It's not a judgment.
And it is.
Yeah.
But I won't, unless you ask me for my help or assistance, it's like, hey, that they must understand what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be their window of.
Absolutely.
They're allotted.
Absolutely. It could. It
okay,
really could
guys,
be.
It's 8.
It could be. Yeah. We're
it's 9 o'clock, guys.
We're here
Everybody
for 45 minutes, and then we're gonna leave. So you're ready.
Have at it.
Yeah.
Get all your corn in while you.